Overwatch 2. Work in progress. Very serious patch notes. Draft. Do not publish. Developer note. Test patch. These changes are only being applied to arcade mode for the moment, because Aaron Killer claims he can convene with the Kamari, and they told him to make this patch. He only plays the new arcade modes, so he shouldn't notice otherwise. Hero updates. All heroes have new ultimate voice lines. Keep 50% of ultimate charge when swapping heroes. Developer comment, veteran players have an advantage over newer ones when it comes to voice line recognition. In order to level the playing field, we've written and recorded new ultimate voice lines for every hero, to help players learn these new callouts. We've also increased the amount of ultimate charge retained when swapping heroes. Tank role passive. Gain ultimate charge 10% faster. The hero that gets the final blow on a tank gains a significant amount of ultimate charge. Developer comment, tank heroes are the raid bosses of teams. You should be fairly rewarded for defeating them, right? Damage roll passive. Heal 50 health on elimination. Developer comment, it's frustrating when you dive the backline by yourself and get no healing, especially when your team's support heroes are busy respawning. This change should help keep you alive, at least. Support roll passive. Gain 30% increased movement speed for 4 seconds when reaching low health. Dev comment, it's tough to stay alive when flankers are about. This change should even out the odds a bit when you get ambushed. Please don't use this offensively. Tank. Doomfist. Developer comment, the empowered fist can also level a skyscraper or open a glass jar in a single attempt. Seismic slam. Can be empowered by power block. Damage increased from 50 to 75 when empowered. Enemies hit by the shockwave are launched into the air. D.va. Developer comment, it turns out the beams used to destroy projectiles also really hurt when used on people. Defense matrix. After deflecting a projectile, defense matrix deals 30 damage to enemies within its area of effect over 1 second. Defense matrix killing blows grant an additional 5% ult charge. JunkerQueen. Developer comment, JunkerQueen yells so loud she damages the eardrums of her foes. Don't worry though, it's still a friendly shout of encouragement for her allies. Commanding shout. Applies a bleed to enemies in range when activated. Orisa. Developer comment, it is believed that the threat of Orisa's aerial body slam is the biggest crime deterrent in Nomdani. Javelin spin. While in the air, javelin spin pulls Orisa forward in her facing direction. Fortify. Increases falling speed and deals damage in an area when Orisa lands on the ground. Ramattra. Developer comment, Ramattra is a lot more effective when he's in Nemesis form, so he'll stay like that until everyone has suffered as much as he has. Omnic form disabled. Ramattra is now always in Nemesis form. Bonus armor decreased from 225 to 125. Void barrier. Moved to ability 1. Block. Now has a 1 second cooldown when disengaged. Reinhardt. Reinhardt comment, I couldn't charge the enemies that were in the air so I asked Toblerogndfgjohdfgos to help me out. Now I am the ultimate crushing machine, even in the SKY. Charge. Now grants flight. Hold jump to float up and crouch to go down. Steering increased by 33%. Roadhog. Developer comment, in order to further align Roadhog as a tank who punishes bad positioning, we've increased the range of hook to make all positioning bad positioning. Chain hook. Range increased by 50%. Sigma. Developer comment, gravitic energy is quite potent. If it's strong enough to lift a giant rock, it can lift anyone. Accretion. Enemies hit by the impact are knocked back and experience low gravity for 4 seconds. Cooldown decreased from 10 to 8 seconds. Winston. Dev comment, Winston. Wrecking Ball. Developer comment, Wrecking Ball unleashes his signature moves that made him the champion of the Scrapyard Battle Arena. Grappling Claw. Maximum speed is temporarily increased when bouncing off walls. Minefield. Mines slowly move toward nearby enemies. Zarya. Dev comment, Gravity gravitates. That's just science. Graviton Surge. Moves towards Zarya after deploying. Particle Cannon. Self-knockback on secondary fire scales with energy level. Damage. Ash. Dev comment, In order to be more accurate to the fantasy, Dynamite Fire now spreads between players. Dynamite Fire spreads to nearby enemies up to 4 times. Bastion. Developer comment, Bastion downloaded a software update, upgrading configuration, assault and allowing it to simulate his old configuration, tank. Configuration, assault. While active, Tactical Grenade has a 0.5 second cooldown. Cassidy. Developer comment, Cassidy can dodge anything using his cat-like reflexes. It's a bit rough on his spine, though. Combat roll now costs regenerating stamina instead of having a cooldown. Dodge all damage when combat roll is active. Ammo reloaded decreased from 6 to 2. Echo. Developer comment, Echo now uses more of her fingers when shooting enemies. Tri-Shot now fires 2 additional projectiles. Damage per projectile decreased from 17 to 12. Genji. Developer comment, spamming a voice line for healing finally does something after everyone else has tuned you out. Sometimes Genji heals himself when requesting healing. Hanzo. Developer comment, Hanzo spent many years mastering the bow and geometry to pull off this feat. It definitely has nothing to do with magic. Storm Arrow. Storm Arrows ricochet toward the Sonic Arrow. Junkrat. Developer comment, Junkrat was a bit careless when packing his grenades, so now they spill out of his pockets whenever he knocks himself back. Total mayhem. Drop grenades when launching yourself with concussion mine. My. Developer comment, we noticed a decrease in my players helping their team group up and spawn with Ice Wall. This is core to Mai's gameplay, so we added additional ice pillars to help facilitate it. Ice Wall spawns more pillars and has slightly different configurations. Pharah. Developer comment, Rocket Jump sounds dangerous, but it is a viable means of travel when you can't afford enough fuel. Rocket Launcher. Rockets deal no self-damage and have increased knockback. Barrage. Pharah can be knocked back while Barrage is active. Barrage rockets now have self-knockback. Hover Jets. Fuel decreased by 33%. Reaper. Developer comment, after getting shot one too many times, Reaper no longer poses in place before teleporting despite it looking very cool. Shadow Step. Movement is no longer locked after confirming a teleport location. Sojorn. Developer comment, Sojorn hasn't been performing quite up to our expectations after reducing her one-shot potential. To remedy this, we've added a very fair stun to her kit. Power Slide. Now impacts enemies dealing 75 damage, launching them upward, and knocking them down for 1.5 seconds. Soldier. 76. Developer comment, why leave it on the ground when you can keep it in your pocket instead? Biotic Field. Now attached to Soldier. 76 when activated. Sombra. Developer comment, as a safety measure, the translocator will forcibly separate solid objects that have been teleported into each other. Unfortunately, this process is also quite painful. Translocator now deals 120 damage in an area at the teleport destination. Projectile speed increased from 25 to 40. Cooldown decreased from 10 seconds to 6 seconds. Symmetra. Developer comment, it turns out there is a setting on sentry turrets that lets them immediately target enemies when thrown. Symmetra estimates this change increases their efficiency by 32.33%. Repeating, of course. Sentry turret. Turrets can now target enemies while in flight. Turrets have 60% damage resistance before sticking to terrain. To warp Jade-filled Pilgrim RN. Dev comment, we noticed that Sojorn relies a little too heavily on his turret to deal consistent damage, so you won't believe this one simple balance change that fixes that and makes him 1000% overpowered. Overload. Now also causes Rivet Gun and Forge Hammer to ignite enemies, dealing 30 additional damage over time. Tracer. Developer comment, Tracer now leaves a vacuum when she recalls into the past. We are pretty sure this is how time travel works and will be taking no questions. Recall. Pulls in nearby enemies when activated. Pulse Bomb. Arming time increased from 1 second to 2 seconds. Widowmaker. Developer comment, poisonous bullets don't work as quickly as normal ones do, but at least there's more room for counterplay. Widow's Kiss. Critical hits deal their damage over 3 seconds as poison. Widowmaker can see poisoned enemies through walls. Support. Anna. Developer comment, Turns out whatever is in those syringes hurts a lot more when applied to the forehead. Biotic rifle can now headshot enemies. Baptiest. Developer comment, rumor has it that Baptiest is the record holder for both high and long jump. Exo boots. Jumping with exo boots has more horizontal distance, scaling with the charge amount. Hold jump after using exo boots to keep bouncing. Brigitte. Developer comment, whip shot now whips you. Works better if you say, wee while flailing about. Whip shot. Bridge is pulled towards the flail head. Kiriko. Dev comment, Kanazaka is a big town, and Kiriko has lots of protecting to do. This change should help her get to where she needs to go in a timely fashion, especially during rush hour. Swift step. Range increased from 35 to 350 meters. Cool down now scales with distance traveled. LA tilde superscript Oshio. Developer comment, we were alerted that Soundwave was able to knock back entire heroes but couldn't do anything to projectiles. We've corrected this logical inconsistency. Soundwave now deflects projectiles. Cooldown decreased from 4 to 3 seconds. Mercy. Developer comment, our stats show that the Battle Mercy playstyle isn't as common as we hoped. Here's a small change that should nudge your damage potential in the right direction. Caduceus Blaster. Ammo increased from 25 to 125. Projectile speed increased from 50 to 125. Moira. Developer comment, you know that random orb that killed you from across the map? That was 100% intentional. Biotic orbs follow Moira's every command, though they only understand stop and go. Biotic orb. Pressing the ability input while biotic orbs are active causes them to stop or start moving. Zenyatta. Developer comment, Zenyatta calls this technique the flying kick, but since he's always floating should it just be called kick? Snap kick launches Zenyatta in his facing direction when used in the air. Please note that these patch notes are meant to be a fun and creative take on potential updates for the game, and should not be taken as actual changes to Overwatch 2. Enjoy discussing and imagining how these changes could impact the game, but remember that they are purely fictional and not intended to represent real updates.